Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to Johnny YouTube channel, NetSec. In this video, I'm gonna start my CyberArk PAS 51-second lab series. I'm gonna do 11.1 version install and configuration. This is gonna be my first video to introduce this series. The previous one I made is for 10.8. I'm thinking probably now we can start with 11.1. This video gonna talk about the infrastructure and then the environment setup. The basic lab diagram will be including a couple of components here: CyberArk component, the Vault component, target servers component, and the infrastructure component. For each part of the green ones is for basic lab setup. So we're gonna, in the basic lab, we're gonna have one Vault, one PVWA CPN server, one PSM server. Of course, you need to have a domain controller and then a couple of target Windows and Linux machines for testing. This is gonna be a hierarchical architecture diagram. So the user's machine gonna access in PVWA using the web protocol port 443, and then they need to access PSM using a native protocol RTP port, and from PSM server they can access in target server using those native protocol like RTP, SSH, SQL port, or web port. In the later on, we're gonna have PTA components to be included in here. Of course, we will have PSM, SSH, HTML5 gateway. You're gonna do more advanced lab during this part. In the Vault part, we will have main Vault and then DR Vault. So they're gonna be high availability setup in the advanced lab. For the servers here, we will have basic server lab. We're gonna have Vault 1, PSM 1, PVWA CPN 1. We're gonna build them one by one. For the Vault, I'm using 2 GB RAM, 1 virtual CPU. Actually, you can use in half memory setup in my lab. Now we're gonna minimum, that's still gonna function very well. 1 GB RAM, 2 GB RAM for PSM, 2 GB RAM for PVWA using just 1 virtual CPU. But I'm doubling the size here to make the performance better. For the advanced lab VM setup, I'm using high availability setup. I'm gonna have 2 Vault server, 2 PSM server, 2 PVWA server. For the DC, you need to have CA installed. And we're gonna have email server installed, and also you need to have syslog be installed there. I'm gonna introduce how to install those services as well. DC preparing, I made a quick section for that because the DC setup is gonna be different. You're gonna have you're gonna install CA Windows Microsoft CA server on a DC domain controller. You're gonna have email server setup and using mail enable. And we also have syslog server and using Kiwi syslog. And you need to have a couple of domain groups created and create a couple of users for each groups. Let me show you my lab environment. I'm using the Hyper-V for PVWA, PSM, and CentOS 7 and Windows 10 testing, and using my vSphere ESXi server to install the Vault, DC, and some other testing server as well. I'm gonna pretend to open console for the DC. Then I'm gonna show you what I have done on the DC server. To install Hyper-V machines, this is those setup has basic IT knowledges. you can do it. Creating your Hyper-V virtual machine. Simple, just a couple of clicks, put the settings, mount the ISO file, and then you're good to go. Just like you install any other machines. ESXi VMs is similar. I'm gonna quick demonstrating how to install the PSM OS. This is my PSM server. I'm gonna install Windows 2012 server on it. It works for Windows 2016 server as well, but Windows 12 is more light and faster. I can show you the settings, basic settings. I'm using 4 GB RAM for the PSM. Actually, 2 GB RAM is more than enough, and 2 virtual CPU is also good enough. One should be fine too. I tested that. I'm using 2012 R2 data center version. The installation gonna be started. We're gonna take a look at our DC setup domain controller. I only have this domain controller. By default, your first domain controller in your domain will be your NTP server as well. So that's we're gonna do integration with our LDAP server. We're gonna integrate our email server. We're gonna integrate NTP, syslog, all will be integrated together. Syslog usually means your SIM system, security event instant management system. In my environment, I always using one password for all accounts for testing. Then you're gonna create tons of accounts for different purpose. So to memorize those passwords is gonna be big pain. So I'm using just one password for all of them. KV syslog server. You can download it from SolarWinds website. So I just this is from my old 10.8 Vault logs. You can see CyberArk. So they're sending log to here. I already destroyed those lab server 10.8 and gonna do 11.1. For email server, I'm using mail label. This is LDAP integrated mail label server. So it's standard edition is free from testing. I also have my CA server installed. I can show you that. I think it's HTTP. I forgot the URL name, but I will find that out. This is our mail enable server. They supported SMTP, IMAP, POP, and also webadmin and webmail. Let's look how I set up. Those are all server roles I already installed. Cert service, directory service, DNS, file and storage services, IaaS services. Look at the sites we created. Here's a default website. This is our CA server page. So here you can request a certificate. You can download the CA certificate. It's a me webmail. Okay, let me mail enable me webmail page. So here you can log in. Use your LDAP account. So in this way, we can test it our system notification, reporting, and approving workflow process. using an email function, so we need that. That's basic my lab environment setup. This is my first video for this series. I'm gonna do 11.1 installation. In next lab, I'm gonna show you how to install the Vault, and then after that there will be CPM, PVWA, PSM, and then we do HA. We're gonna do PSM SSH gateway. We're gonna do HTML5 gateway. We're also gonna do two-factor authentication, 2FA. Other than that, PTA will be in our topic as well. So subscribe my channel and give me a thumb up if you can, and I will bring more about CyberArk lab setup, installation, configuration videos. Thank you for watching.